Camelot is back at it again with yet another Mario sports game to add to their ever-growing belt, and yes, I'm talking about Mario Tennis Ultra Smash for Wii U. I've always been more of a fan of the Mario Tennis games when compared to the Mario Golf entries because of their more fast-paced gameplay, but I can't say I was all too excited going into Ultra Smash. The additions that were being made to the Mario Tennis formula, namely the Mega Mushrooms and Jump Shots, didn't seem like monumental changes that would breathe new life into the series. But hey, I'm an optimist and I'm willing to give the game a fair chance, because who knows, maybe it's amazingly awesome. Nintendo was kind enough to send over an early copy of the game so that I can give my thoughts on it, and now that I've seen the ins and outs of Ultra Smash, I've come to the conclusion that while it does excel in certain areas, this is probably not the next big bad Mario Tennis game you were hoping it to be. Right off the tennis racket, one of the best aspects of Mario Tennis Ultra Smash is no doubt the presentation. Graphically, it's super clean, polished, vibrant, and runs at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second with no stuttering. The character models are also extremely well done, and they look even snazzier when you gobble up a Mega Mushroom and become gigantic, making the details on each character really pop. Every match takes place in a stadium full of Mushroom Kingdom folk, so the only thing that really changes visually is the court design, whether that be sand, a mushroom pattern, carpet, and so forth. To make each court a bit more unique, maybe they could have changed the surrounding environments to make them really stand out, instead of sticking them all inside a stadium. For example, the sand court could have been played on a beach, and the mushroom court could have been played in the Mushroom Kingdom. Nevertheless, as the first HD Mario Tennis game, it's certainly well built. As for the game's soundtrack, it's definitely nothing that will get stuck in your head, but it's got a bombastic flavor that certainly fits the vibe of an arcade-style Mario sports game. As the fast-paced and wacky matches ensue, the music follows along beautifully with blasting trumpets and kicking drums. I did notice that some of the tracks do sound awfully similar to each other, so if you had to guess which song is which, you probably couldn't tell. But overall, when it comes to Ultra Smash's presentation, there isn't much to not like about it. Camelot did a great job here. But just because it looks and sounds great doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a fantastic game, because gameplay trumps graphics in the grand scheme of things. Unfortunately, in Ultra Smash's case, the gameplay is lackluster. Now, there's nothing at all wrong with how the game plays, as it works and controls like a champ, but the actual experience is rather dull. This mainly has to do with the fact that it really has no interesting or standout game modes that you'll be dying to come back to for just one more round. They all seem to be very run-of-the-mill without much creativity. There's Mega Battle, Classic Tennis, Mega Ball Rally, Knockout Challenge, and online multiplayer. That's pretty much it. Mega Battle is the most arcadey mode in the game, as it throws chance shots, jump shots, and Mega Mushrooms onto the tennis court. Chance shots are more powerful versions of a shot as introduced in Mario Tennis Open for the Nintendo 3DS. Jump shots, on the other hand, add a new layer to the chance shots as they allow you to leap into the air and send the ball flying. And then finally, there's the Mega Mushrooms, which turn your character into Godzilla. This means you take up more room on the court and you deliver more powerful hits. Overall, with all three of these mechanics mixed together, it makes for some rather enjoyable and chaotic matches. It does feel like the Mega Mushrooms get thrown onto the court a bit too often, diminishing their cool factor, but the jump shots and mushrooms are neat little ways to Mario up the tennis experience. The Classic Tennis mode offers two sub-modes that both strip away the Mega Mushrooms. One lets you play with only the chance and jump shots turned on, while the other is just straight up regular tennis if you just want something a bit closer to the real shebang. While nothing groundbreaking here, Classic Tennis is definitely a nice inclusion for those times you want to dial down the craziness. Mega Ball Rally, which is the one minigame Ultra Smash offers, is a very one-note experience. It prompts you to try and get the longest rally going. That's literally all you do. And yes, this is the only minigame in Ultra Smash, which is pretty disappointing. I can't say that it isn't an enjoyable mode to play, but it's very uninspired and you'll probably rarely play it. It can also sometimes be a pain in the tushy when you're playing with a CPU because they'll act like they're playing an actual tennis match, thus messing up your flow. And finally, the last offline mode is Knockout Challenge, which has you playing against a consecutive number of CPU opponents that slowly get tougher over time. The goal is to see how many you can beat before losing. It's essentially Mega Battle wrapped in different packaging, and after about 15 rounds, you'll likely get bored because it's repetitive. The one redeeming factor of Knockout Challenge is that you can use an amiibo as a doubles partner and level them up so that they can become smarter and get stat buffs. This is honestly a really awesome use of amiibo, and the best part is, you can even use that amiibo as a doubles partner online. And for the record, Game Explains Amiibo knows how to take a ball to the face like a champ. So, as you can see, there's nothing very grandiose about the offline modes included in Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. and since that is so, the majority of your time will no doubt be spent in online multiplayer. While it does have a couple kinks, the online multiplayer works really well, offering a variety of modes. There will be some frame rate stuttering here and there from what I've experienced, but it's not so bad that it will mess up your shots. They are relatively smooth matches. You can even have a friend join you locally to be your doubles partner online, but that is probably the only way you are ever going to play with a friend online, because there is no matchmaking for friends. It's all random. Why they didn't include this feature is beyond me, but it's a very significant oversight on Camelot's part that most definitely should have been incorporated, especially for a game like this. It's kind of baffling. Now, as I stated before, you can also use your amiibo as a doubles partner online, which is super neat, but I did have one problem with it. The amiibo does not level up from online matches, it only levels up in Knockout Challenge. Again, another thing that's a bummer. When you're playing all these different modes online or offline, you'll be accumulating hundreds of coins. But what in the world are they for? Are they for buying new equipment for your Mii like in Mario Tennis Open? That's a big fat nope. Come to think of it, you can't even play as your Mii. The coins are actually used to unlock achievements quickly, and these achievements unlock new content, such as new playable characters or course to play on. So, rather than completing the objectives the achievements want you to do, you can just redeem your coins and not have to do them. Plus, since most of the achievements don't take mini coins, you can 100% the game really quickly. It took me less than 7 hours. But overall, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash matches up quite perfectly with how I expected the game to be. It's a rather lackluster attempt at bringing Mario Tennis into the world of HD on Wii U. Sure, the presentation is clean and vibrant, and the game controls beautifully, but when you get down to the meat of the experience, it feels really uninspired. The game modes are very bare bones, and you'll probably find yourself gravitating towards online multiplayer as most of what you can do in single player can be done online. And when it comes to online multiplayer, the lack of matchmaking with friends is a rather bizarre omission. I'm not saying that there isn't going to be any fun had here, but just don't expect this to be the cream of the crop when it comes to the Mario Tennis series. If you weren't a fan of Mario Tennis before, Ultra Smash isn't going to make you one. I don't think it's a game that's so horrible that you should just flat out skip it, but I would highly suggest you wait for a price drop. So with all that in mind, I found Mario Tennis Ultra Smash to be a so-so game. And before we wrap up here, I wanted to give a big shout out to my YouTube network, Screenwave Media, for hooking me up with an Elgato capture device so that I can record snazzy Nintendo footage in 1080p at 60 frames per second. It's also not big and bulky like my old Hauppauge HD PVR. But anyways, thanks a ton Screenwave, but that will bring us to the end of this review. And if you liked what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up, add it to your favorites, and all that good stuff. But I will talk to you all later in the next video, guys. Bye!